Hi everyone, it's Laurel Beard here with the Blitzy Creative Team, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of watercoloring with the Faber-Castell Gelatos, and this is the card that we'll be making today in the video. And it uses this adorable stamp set by Riley and Company. It's from the Funny Bones line. And that little moose sitting there hanging out in his recliner holding his coffee just cracks me up. I think it's adorable. So I'm using a stamping tool called the Misty here, and it helps just keep everything lined up and in place. I just love it. I'm not sure I could live without it at this point. So I've got my stamp kind of where I want it to be on my cardstock there. That's some watercolored cardstock, by the way. Then I'm going to pick it up with that hinged door, ink up my stamp with some onyx black pigment ink, and I'll stamp it down in place. Now I'm going to be heat embossing this. Anytime I do any kind of watercoloring, I like to heat set my images because it keeps the lines, the outlines of the images, nice and crisp. Sometimes when you watercolored over some stamped images, you can lose the brightness and the crispness of the outlines of the images. So I always heat set my images before I watercolor. So that pigment ink stays wet a little bit longer, so I'm able to use it with some clear embossing powder, and then I'm heat setting it here with my heat tool. You can see as the embossing powder is melting just how nice and crisp those black lines are. So I'm going to be using some different color Faber-Castell Gelatos here to do my watercoloring. So I'm going to put a wash of water down first, and then I'm going to go in and take my paintbrush directly to that little gelato and start doing watercoloring. So I'm going to play some music here so I don't bore you to tears with my yapping, and I'll be back when the watercoloring is done. Alright, so I'm just about done adding some color to this little cute guy. And now I decided I wanted to add a little bit more to the ground, and I want to go up and add a little bit of like dripping technique from the top. Now here's where I made a mistake, but I'm going to fix it. But when you do this with gelatos, remember to kind of blend that little bit of color that you just added with your finger first. It's going to blend a lot easier if I had taken my finger and kind of blended it out a little bit before I did that misting. So I'm going to go in and kind of fix this, but I wanted to keep this in the video so you could kind of see how I worked through my little mistake. And I make mistakes like this all the time, and I try to find a way to fix it because I certainly don't want to scratch a project after I invested this much time into it. So here's where I'm going to go back in and do what I should have done from the beginning. I'm going to go in and blend that top area with my finger first, just to get it all nice and moistened a little bit with your finger. And then you spray down, and then you can see how better it blends. And then I'm putting the cap on my water mister. Did you see that? Anywho, so I just like that little bit of that dripping look here. So I'm just going to go ahead and zap this with my heat tool real quick so I can go ahead and finish off this card here. The heat tool that I'm using, I really love it. It's got that nice precision tip. And the key to heat embossing anything is just let your heat gun warm up first before you apply it to your project. And then it will work much better and much quicker. So I wanted to pop up this little panel with some foam dimensions. So I'm using this ginormous roll of double-sided tape. Any kind of dimensional tape that you have will work just fine. I like this because you can peel it off with your fingers, as you see. You don't need scissors to cut it apart. And then you just peel off the backing papers. But there's a ton of dimensional products out there. You've got circles, dots, all different shapes. That is a little note card by Lawn Fawn that I'm applying it to. I thought that yellow polka dotted background would be super cool. And then this is the card. Super fun, super easy, and I had fun. So grab your gelatos and start watercoloring and just have a blast. Thanks for watching.